Awesome. So hello, everyone. Welcome to Black Equity Talk. My name is TK Baltimore, and here we discuss topics and strategies to help improve the social and economic standing of Blacks in America. And today I am joined by Mr. Q, Eric Quander. And Eric is an author, artist, life coach, member of the oldest Black family in America. And we're going to discuss all of those today. So welcome, Mr. Q.
Well, thank you for having me, TK. Thank you very much for having me.
Very welcome. So I was very excited to interview you today because your resume is very impressive. You are on multiple businesses and very active in the community with self-sustaining Black communities. And I wanted to really talk somewhat about the fact that you are the 13th generational patriarch of America's oldest Black family. I wanted to know how much your knowledge of your lineage, how much did that influence you? And how did that impact where you are today?
Well, how much? Tremendously. Having knowledge of your family's roots, wherever that starting point is for you, certainly for me has been an inspiration, and it makes my connection to that which is bigger than me very tangible. Okay. To know that all of that and all of those people happened before me that have led up to me being in existence, and then recognizing the impact that my existence will have on the people that come after me. My son is the start of that legacy in my mind. It influences almost every working moment of my life. Certainly now at 50, it is all consuming. The importance of legacy, the recognition of our responsibility to leave behind things of substance for those that come after, for us to really create good vibes and good intentions.
Yeah.
Because truly our children will reap what we sow. Amen.
Yes, that is so true. The good and the bad of what we sow. So
that's right.
Yeah, definitely.
And so specifically when you're talking about the Quander legacy, our patriarch Romuline Quander, who most recently released a book on the Quander family, which you can find on Amazon. And if you like, I'll provide a link so that viewers can go and purchase the book themselves. I'll provide that to you afterwards. The Honorable Romuline Quander quality came up with the tagline, if you will, that quality is our legacy. Now, I have since made that the tagline for our company. Quality. If you examine that word and the importance of that word, there's a lot of power behind that to present things and ideas and service of quality that are long lasting. Isn't that truly what a legacy is somewhat dependent upon? Is what you've created that perseveres.
Right.
So that family name, the concept of creating quality in your life and having a quality life impacts all of my decisions.
Absolutely, absolutely. And after 13 generations, are there still tangible items that you have that you can pass down, or what types of things? Are it records and books that you pass down, or is it more just the knowledge of where you come from? What is a couple of things? I'm sure the book will go into it as well, but.
Luckily, a lot of the work began with my father, and then subsequently other members of the family, of course. And so that work has been done. You can find out anything you want to know about the Quanders by taking a visit to Mount Vernon. We are a part of the historic of that institution in American history. So we have an entire wall dedicated to us in Mount Vernon, which traces our family legacy and lineage. Also, you can find out more about us by taking a visit to the Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C.
Wow.
Again, another place and fine institution where the legacy and contribution of the Quanders to the fabric of American society have been denoted and seem to be regarded quite highly. And I'm proud to add to that fabric and to that quilt.
Mhm.
And for me, it's about making sure that I do my part to make sure that that my emblem, Mr. Q, is in that quilt very vibrantly, so that my boy Turtle can know that his daddy was here.
Absolutely. That's
So
awesome.
you can find out how is that passed on. Yes, it is passed on in those memorabilia and those relics that can be found in those museums. Also, there is a Quander Family Museum in Arlington, Virginia, which anyone can come and visit or go and visit, because I'm in California. I'll be the Quander Family Museum in the coming months, and that will be in press, and you'll see about that. I'm making it a big to do that. I'm going to go and see our family treasures and legacies and show my boy them for the first time in the coming weeks. And what's more important to me, though, I shouldn't say more important, I'll say as important, is the business of legacy, the legacy that your business can create, which brings us a lot to our conversation today. That's one of the greatest things that you can pass on. And we'll talk about that, I'm sure, a little bit later.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. That's very important. What advice would you give to other Black families who wish to pass down things? Like how, and maybe they don't know where to start. How would you suggest they start?
I would start by identifying moral compass from which your situation.
Nice.
Identify what your end goal is going to be. I say that to say you might not find a lot. What if your records only go back 1 or 2 generations? That might be disheartening. But I think it's more important that you start right now with you. And what came before you don't really too much matter. You let it matter what you know what I mean? Let your legacy start with you and where you are. If you are able to trace back your roots and go back and find some benefit in that, is a wonderful thing. And there are lots of websites and things of that nature that you can engage in that process. But amongst our people, our Black America, sometimes you might not want to find out, or enough.
Yeah.
And that's enough. And that's all you need to know. I understand. So let that legacy start with you, and because you might not like what you find. I don't know.
Right. True.
I hope that makes sense.
No, it's saying. Yeah, absolutely. And I like that. Letting it start with you, because you can pass that on to your children. It doesn't have to just go backward, it can go forward as well.
That's right. And if it starts with you, that's a dang on good place to start.
Definitely. What are your thoughts on whether Black Americans deserve or should be paid reparations for slavery in America and or systematic oppression? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, well, I'm a man of words and I love language, the beauty of the English language. Language, but it's beautiful nonetheless. And it does convey a lot of our thoughts. You said the word deserve. Certainly, I feel that indigenous Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, deserve reparations from the American government and the institution that is America. Do I think that that will ever happen? No. Not in the sense that we might be more traditionally thinking that it would come in some type of huge payoff or some dollar figure with a cap on it. $1 trillion to be dispersed among foundational Black Americans. I don't think that that works.
Mm-hmm.
We see that it is resisted on many fronts. How I do think that reparations can occur for Black foundational Americans is this way. We need an industry. We deserve to take control of an industry that is substantial in the world economy. Okay, what do I mean? Yeah. Well, the Asians got the hair business, let's say that. Let's say that the Indians got the hotel business. The Mexicans got most everything else. How about you give Black people the recycling industry in America? Okay. How about it is legislated that for the 250 years, all recycling, all aspects of the recycling industry will be first presented to Black foundational Americans. That way, I don't believe in asking the government for nothing. I don't think that behooves us. Because if they give you something, that means you got to give them something, and haven't they taken enough? Hasn't the Black man and Black family in America given enough? How about you give for a while and expect nothing in return, America? How about you give to the people who built the country as an atonement for the sins of this country? That's how I see reparations happening for Black Americans. To think that the government and a white person is going to give us what we deserve as far as the physical and metaphysical ramifications of being and living in so-called white supremacy, ain't nothing about it supreme over me, but I understand the words. But to exist in that system certainly deserves some type of compensation.
Right.
And I think the only way to get it is by allowing us to determine how much money we're going to make. Let us give us the industry. We'll set the price. We will take care of it. We've done it before. We've already built the country once, and now we're about to rebuild it again. This time, we get paid for it.
Wow. When you mentioned an industry, I actually thought you were going to mention like the music industry or something like that, because that's historically kind of been where Black people reside and maybe have not gotten all of the money that they deserve in that area. But that kind of brings me to, or brings us the conversation to We Can Black America, I believe. Can you tell us about We Can Black America project?
Yes. The We Can Black America project is a passion project that I launched on Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. It is an intentional movement for 1 million Americans to donate 10 pounds of plastic and 10 pounds of aluminum, recyclable products, your plastic bottles, aluminum cans, to the We Can America movement. What happens? If we are successful in generating that by Juneteenth, that's June 19th of this year, if we can get 1 million people to donate that volume of materials, we'll be close to generating $6 million. A small amount of money comparatively. Because what I would want to do is this. I want to take 60% of that money and distribute it to deserving Black businesses, institutions, organizations, individuals that have demonstrated a commitment to a Black community, family, and foundation of Black Americans. That is my example of a way that we are getting reparations, and we're not asking anybody for a handout. That's your things that you might throw away, things that you might put in your municipal recycling bin. Instead, we're asking Americans, give them to Black people. Let us get the funds so that we can use those funds to build our own communities. See, that's why it's important that we have an industry. You see, because, say, for example, the money that Joe Biden just gave the HBCUs, right? He gave them $70.1 million, something like that. With the caveat that those HBCUs have to use money the way that he determines, or the Department of Education, what have you. That's simply another way of the white man saying, you don't know how to educate your children. We're going to give you the money and we're going to tell you how to spend it. Okay, I want to present an alternative. We got our own money, man. We don't need nothing from you. We'll educate our children the way that we want to do it. How about that? That's what We Can Black America is about. Us generating our own funds from the things that other people throw away. That's how we survived the institution of American slavery. We took the things that they threw away and we learned how to survive off them. Not only survive off them, we learned how to make them things cuisine. We learned how to make those things pieces of America.
Right.
You see, so this time around, I want to take all that plastic and I want to turn those into plastic bricks that can be used to develop our railways. All that glass, I want to take that glass and use it as aggregate to help rebuild buildings and communities. All of that aluminum, I want to turn them into aluminum beams for international export in the construction industry. A $20 trillion industry within the next 10, 15 years.
Wow.
So that's what We Can Black America movement is about.
Wow. And this is something that can be done in each area, each city or each municipality across
Absolutely.
America. That's really, really awesome. What can someone who's interested in seeing this come to fruition, how would they be able to support this cause?
Well, it's very easy to get involved. First of all, visit our site, www.wecanblackamerica.com. Now, what you're going to be able to do there is you're going to take a pledge. You know, one of the great things I love about this We Can Black America movement, there's so many things that would divide us as a community. Your sexuality, your political affiliation, your religious affiliation. This knocks all that. I don't care if they're straight Muslim, Buddhist, Baptist, Methodist, Republican, Democrat, Independent, Socialist, Communist, I don't care. All we want are your plastic bottles and aluminum cans. The only way you won't do it is because you do not care about the future of the Black economy. Because I can't think of another reason why you wouldn't. So you take that pledge. This pledge, you know, people, I feel, can develop more of a commitment if they vocalize their commitment, if they vocalize it. So you read through that pledge on the website and see if you can stand behind it. Now, what happens after you take that pledge is that you can contact us. We can provide you with customized bags, recyclable bags for your plastic and aluminum, or we can even provide you and your communities with customized trash cans with the We Can Black America Movement logo imprinted on it and contact information. So if you want to learn about any of those products and more about the program, you can visit the website. But always, I welcome anyone to call me anytime at my 800 number. I'll give it right now. It's 888-243-7377. That's 888-243-7377. Now you call me at that number and I'll tell you about anything, any of the subjects that we've discussed today.
Awesome, great. And I will put that on the description of this video as well, just in case that wasn't heard by anyone. Couple more questions. What would be your favorite? Like, I'm really into generational wealth and passing those things down to other children. I know you have to your children. I know that you have your businesses, but what would be your favorite wealth generating activity?
My favorite wealth generating activity, procuring land.
Yeah.
I think that's very important. You have land, and I've learned the value of it as a commodity, just the many things and many ways you can turn that into income. So right. Land would be my answer.
Land, yes, absolutely. I think that's awesome as well. I'm actually getting into the stock market as well, and that's kind of like a big new thing for me, because before it was just putting money away and letting it grow, but now being more actively involved in it and just learning how the world works through the stock market is something that, you know, is valuable information. And there are definitely stocks that you can get involved with. Even if you can't buy land, you can buy, you know, buy into a company that,
absolutely.
And that can be
that's
something
a great way to enter. Yeah, that's a great way to enter into building up that financial legacy is through the stocks. And, you know, I think that I'd like to see more people. One of the things that we're working on out here in the high deserts of California is the concept of more of our people combining their resources. Yeah. You know, my entire philosophy is based primarily on Dr. Claude Anderson's phenomenal book, Powernomics. Basically, it's the Bible to Black economy, and every Black person should read that book, every Black American.
Absolutely.
And the philosophy behind the We Can Black America movement, behind my company, Quander and Son, is that you must gain control of a resource, process that resource, and turn that resource into a consumable good. So that it doesn't matter what you apply that to, it works. That's how you generate legacy and wealth.
That was perfectly said. I love that. That should be a soundbite everywhere. Every person should really take that in and meditate on that. That was
wonderful. And please make it a soundbite. I could use the PR.
I will. So can you, before we go, can you tell us about any other projects that you have?
Well, gosh, I have a lot going on. I just filmed a national commercial for one of the top 3 products in the world that you will be seeing on your TV screens probably by the month's end. So keep your eyes out for that. I cannot say the product My agent says I
Okay.
can't say product until after the commercial aired.
All right.
So keep your eyes on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else do I have going on? Right now, I am working on an ongoing project. I have a one-man show called Where the Walls Are. In 2018, I became a below-the-knee amputee, and I have works regarding that journey in my life of being an amputee. Yes, it might be a bit odd that an amputee, I didn't start my construction company until after I became an amputee. I'm crazy like that.
Oh, wow.
So that's going on. I'm working on that work. I am I'm working on a film project as well, a Black Western, that we are pushing about. So that's something that I've always been wanting to do. You said earlier that, mentioned that I'd come from a background of the arts. So yes, I was in the entertainment industry for very many years, primarily as a stage actor. And I will be returning to the stage. I have been approached to reprise the role of Falstaff that I did several years ago on the East Coast. And now some people on the West Coast are interested in me reprising that role. It might be a little different now that I have one leg, so that makes it very interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm be doing Falstaff in the next year and a half or so. Keep your eyes out for that. And most importantly and most urgently, I am making preparations for a tour of the East Coast. I will.
Sorry.
Oh, don't worry, my dogs. They outside. I'm sure you heard them barking earlier. And you had employees that were traveling to and fro
Oh,
in the
yeah.
background.
The work must go on. It's okay.
It has to go on. They know it, dude. Okay. East Coast. I will be on the East Coast promoting Quander and Son, as well as the We Can Black America movement. In the dates are May 22nd, no, I'm sorry, April 22nd to May 26th. Yes. I will be in various cities and states in those dates. I will be wanting to meet as many of you as possible that are in the audience and that are listening and are hearing this message. Please extend me an invitation to address your community, organization, your group, your sorority, your fraternity. My great-great-grandmother founded the AKAs, so I am anticipating that the AKAs in every city will have the great-grandson of your founder to speak and address your sisterhood about this movement of rebuilding Black America and building economic prosperity for Black America. So that is what we have really coming up. My East Coast tour, that's what we're kind of putting a lot of energy into right now. I'll be in Shreveport as early as I think it's May the 22nd. I think I'll be in Shreveport on that day. So I want to speak to as many people as possible. I'll be in every single state. The only state that I won't be in at this time is Florida. If someone in Florida wants
Oh,
to talk
no,
to me,
that's where I
I'll
am.
be there. Okay, I'll come to Florida.
Okay.
You can get a ticket. So that's what's on my plate, and that's what I'm working on.
Wow, that's awesome. And I just wanted,
stuff, I know.
it is a lot of stuff. That's great. I just wanted to mention, since you shouted out AKA, the first Black or woman vice president of the United States is a member. So that's really awesome. That kind of shows how legacy plays a role and how it's passing down wealth of information and resources since 1908 till present. So that's in action.
Network, our connection. It's about your network, and I often tell those that I interact with, make sure you take time to examine your network, the individuals that you surround yourself with, and the energy that you surround yourself with. That will affect your wealth and overall prosperity tremendously.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Well, you have so many, you dropped so many jewels. I appreciate you so much for joining me. This has been, yeah, this has been great. So thank you so much again. And hopefully we'll see you and all of the things that you have going on. We Can Black America. I, want that to be all over. And I'm going to definitely sign the pledge on the website.
Excellent. Please visit www.wecanblackamerica.com. We appreciate it. And also don't forget, you can always check out quanderandson.com for any of your construction and home building needs. I can build you a house from the ground up. You give me about 4 weeks, I can get it done.
Oh, wow. Awesome. All right. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, TK. I'll talk to you again.
All right. Bye-bye.